Some people take photos. Rory captures who you are before you even say a word. Today on the Sip and Solve podcast, we pull back the curtain on a decade behind the lens, how light, timing, and trust turn ordinary moments into brand-defining stories.
Obviously, there's a lot of subconscious stuff and a lot of innate ability to see what makes a good photo because it's something I can't turn off. It's like a constant analysing of everything around you at all times.
If you've ever wondered why one image can open doors to clients, opportunities, and reputation, this conversation is your everything.
If someone's not willing to invest in their business in certain things, that's a bit of a red flag for me.
I'm Louise Ridlen, CEO of Peppermint IT, a proudly women-founded company that believes technology and creativity are at their best when they tell human stories.
I'm doing the right things and I'm moving the needle forward and doing what I need to do.
That's what it's about when we're small businesses, is we've got a great service and a great offering, and how do people know that we have it? If we don't tell them, you can't be the CEO of a business anymore and just sit in your office.
Get ready to sip some tea or coffee and tune in so you can get as much out of this episode as possible. This is how the right photograph changes everything.
I would love to welcome everybody to the Sip and Solve today. Today we have Rory Forbes Lang, and he is the founder of Focus on Forbes Media, a Sydney-based creative studio specialising in portrait, branding and event photography. With over a decade of experience behind the lens, Rory has built a reputation for blending precision with authenticity, capturing the raw in-between moments that bring stories to life. His work spans from commercial shoots and corporate branding to fine art explorations of land, light, and emotion, with an approach rooted in collaboration and genuine human connection. Internationally recognised and award-winning, Rory's philosophy is simple. Every image should reflect the real personality and story of the people and places it portrays. Welcome, Rory.
Thank you.
It's lovely to have
I
you
got
here.
goosebumps feeling that. I haven't really heard someone, read it out to me before. So,
Well, this is one of my favourite things of the podcast every week or month when I do it, is that I type into ChatGPT, tell me about, and this is literally what I typed, tell me about Rory Forbes Lang from Focus on Forbes Media. And that's what it said. Word for word. It's not my words.
it was pretty close.
Pretty on point. Do you think, would you
Yeah, and I
anything about that?
not really. I don't think so. Because I did the same thing when we were at Jenna's event.
Yep.
And that was an interesting exercise just to see whether it pulled up all of our branding and our values and everything that we stand for as a business, as business owners.
Yeah.
And mine was very much in line with the values and what I want to achieve and my purpose. So it was a nice experiment because it's like, I'm doing the right things and I'm moving the needle forward and doing what I need to do.
So because what I feel about that is that if that's pretty close, then whatever you've been putting out there in your branding and your social media and all of the different things that you're doing is being collected. And it's interesting because the last podcast we did was with Cheech Fu and his SEO GEO specialist, and he talked a fair bit about how the old style SEO, which is based on the Google algorithms, is kind of out the door now, because now we've got GEO and we've got ChatGPT, and people will go now into ChatGPT rather than their search engine and go, I want to work with this person, tell me about them. I'm picking 1, 2 or 3 different, pick me 3 different options in my area and compare them and let me know which one you think I should work with based on my values and what I want. And so the things that you're getting out of ChatGPT is so different than even 6 months or a year ago.
And I've really been looking into how I can do that and show up. So I've been working a lot when I can on the slightly quieter weeks, building that into my websites and my content that's going out, and trying to be as discoverable as possible. And I've also done an audit with someone who has an SEO background.
Yep.
Called George, and he's given me, I haven't actually had time to go through everything fully, but he's really broken that down into steps. This is the target area, this is what you need to do to start becoming that top 3 search.
We've noticed quite a big difference in the last few months with our podcast channel now, because that's on YouTube and the things that people like. It's just, we're kind of everywhere now. We're on all of the social media platforms. We're on YouTube, and got lots of people looking at that. And so we've had more people coming to us from Google.
And I think that's the thing. It's YouTube is a Google company, so it's if you're still typing in Google and using Gemini, the fact that you have a YouTube presence is definitely going to help that. It's and that's some of the reason. Well, most of the reason why I've posted some videos on YouTube, and they're not necessarily to grab people's attention or go viral or anything like that. It's just to say, hello, I'm here.
Because that's what it's about when we're small businesses, is we've got a great service and a great offering, and how do people know that we have it if we don't tell them? And you can't. We also said this a couple of weeks ago, like, you can't be the CEO of a business anymore and just sit in your office and send out a few flyers and expect people to talk about you. Even if you do get a good referral, people are going to check you out online and see. So I would like to know where your love of photography came from.
It's always been there. I think over the last few years, as that question's come up more, I've had a lot more time to think about it, and it's always stemmed around my granddad and him being a photographer, not professionally, but I grew up, like, I used to go to my nan's, and we've got, boxes full of film photos of us growing up, and it's, I don't know, I guess I saw him taking those photos. I don't really remember as a kid, but obviously there's a lot of subconscious stuff and a lot of innate ability to see what makes a good photo, because it's something I can't turn off. Like, it's at different points in my life, it's been frustrating because I'm out somewhere doing something and I'm just like, oh God, I wish I had my camera. Like, there's just perfect light over there, or this looks perfect, or so I think, and I had my mum's digital camera, like the 2 megapixel things, and would take those to parties when I was like 14, 15, 16, and felt like a bit of a weird kid, the only one with a camera. But I have all of those memories that I wouldn't have otherwise. Like, my memory is a little bit jaded growing up. Like, I don't have a strong hold on what I did as a kid. I think that's part of, I don't know if I knew that at the time why I was doing it, but it was just that pursuit of creating memories because I didn't want to forget them,
So a couple of interesting things that you said then. One is that you see things differently. And I wonder about that because I played a number of different, I grew up playing lots of different musical instruments, and you listen to music differently when you're a piano player, for example, or a guitar player, because you're listening to chords and structures and things moving up and down and how everything kind of fits together. And quite often people have got, who kind of said something about a piece, and I'm like, yeah, but what about that when it, when the chord changes from here to here and then this, and they're like, well, never thought about that before. And so now I'm thinking for the first time that that's similar to what you're doing when you're looking at things, seeing things a little bit differently, paying attention to different lights.
It's like a constant analysing of everything around you at all times.
I just hear zzz.
And it, I think it can be a bit tiring at times. I mean, it's not like a 24/7 thing, but it's an everyday thing. Like,
one of my best friends when I was in my 20s was blind, and
that's my biggest fear.
And she had lost her sight when she was 18 months old. She had cancer, and her dad had to make a decision about whether to remove the eyes or just let it run its course. So her eyes like were taken out. So just she had beautiful blue glass eyes. And she was in her 30s, I guess, at the time, and a songwriter. She had a master's degree in special ed. She could drive a car. She ended up with a songwriting contract, moved to the States, set up a recording studio in Nashville. Most amazing person. And she said to me once, my whole life I've been taught that I'm missing half of the world because I can't see. But I've realized that I'm not, because I have so many other senses and so many things that other people, and I feel sad when people can't hear the things that I can hear and feel the things that I can feel.
Yeah.
And it was such an eye-opener for me. And I think her as well, when she kind of got to that realization that there was, so, you know, if you went to her place, you would think there was no one home, pitch black, nighttime, and she was baking a cake. And if you go upstairs and you turn the light on and you forgot to turn the light off when you came back downstairs, like so switched on about so many different things. So, yeah, so it's interesting.
Daredevil, or heard of Daredevil?
No.
It's a Marvel comic superhero, and he's blind, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To look it up.
And it's all about his heightened senses. Like he can see like radiation waves, and he can see people walking, and all of that noise is just bouncing off everything around him, so he can actually see better than anyone else.
Yeah, it's
and
amazing,
uses that to his advantage, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Still, all the same, we don't wish that on a photographer.
No, and it's funny because that has been like my biggest fear, even before I was like a photographer. That was always something. Not really sure why it was a worry for me, because subconsciously it always was, like, not subconsciously, but it was like,
consciously. Like I wouldn't jump off something high, but I bet you would.
I've done it a few times.
Yeah, I have a fear of falling. I just want to be on the ground, slow. I want to go fast. I don't want to go up high. I just want to be here.
It's an interesting experience.
Yeah. What have you jumped off?
I did a plane. I jumped out of a plane the first time, and I was I was traveling around New Zealand when I was 19.
Yeah.
And I was deciding, because I couldn't really afford to do both, and I was like, I'm not sure which to do. And it's like, I'll jump out of the plane because that seems cooler, and I can see more, and it lasts longer, and all that sort of stuff. And I remember doing it and just being like, going up, and I was waiting to get scared, and I wasn't getting scared. And I was like, okay, the door's open. All right, here we go. All right. And then now I'm going to get that adrenaline rush. And it never really happened.
Yeah.
Like I fell out and like had that sort of sick feeling in my tummy, as like you're free falling. And that lasted however long it lasts. And then you just sort of paraglide down and it's such a pleasant, for me, it was such an amazing experience.
Yeah, wow.
But not like that big, scary adrenaline rush, like, oh my God.
Huh.
So then I was like, I'll have to do the bungee jump as well. So I did that in New Zealand, and that's a different story.
Yeah, right. So that was scary.
That's a physical, your body's, every fibre of your body is telling you not to jump off.
Yeah.
And you can feel it physically, that's a very different experience.
So is that the scariest thing you've done? Would you do it again?
I did do it twice more. And it's funny because I thought the second time around I was like, it's not going to be that scary, and I wasn't that nervous leading up to it. And then they put all the equipment on, and you get, you shuffle over, and then you're like, oh yeah, this is how it feels. And then like you're suddenly hit by this overwhelming sense of what are you doing and being scared. So I did it again, and
yeah, that's amazing.
And it's funny because you think you're not going to be scared because you've done it before, but it's quite the opposite. It's just exactly the same.
Like when you have a second child.
I imagine, probably something like that.
It's going to be easy because you've done it before, but it's not. It's just as bad. Yeah, that's as adventurous as I get having children. I can't do anything high. That's funny, isn't it? I mean, I guess you know what your life ahead is going to be somehow. You kind of know in the back of your mind.
I've heard as well, like people talking about the fears that we have are probably stemmed from generational trauma being passed down. Like if you're scared of spiders, maybe someone in your family, generations ago died or something happened, and it's just that.
Well, I've got a combination of every generation's views.
Yeah.
They're all inside my head. Oh, funny. So what's the most amazing thing you think you've shot then? Did you have a camera on you when you did the bungee jumping?
No, you're not allowed to do stuff. I mean, nowadays you can.
Yeah.
Like you can probably strap, have a chest plate and.
Yeah.
Oh, I think it depends on where you do it, actually. I think the first one I did, no, they film it. And I think that's part of
yeah, that's right.
making money. It's like they're going to sell you the video package and that stuff. Whereas nowadays the GoPros are a lot more accessible and everything else. I think I had it on one of them. I've done a zip line as well. I can't remember. I might have had it on that and not the bungee jump. There's been some really cool events and weddings and all sorts of things I've been a part of that have been pretty special. But for me, it's always wildlife. Being in the middle of nowhere and not being on a tour, just being on my own. And then I've been to Patagonia twice. First time I didn't find a puma, and this was one of the reasons I went there.
Yeah.
I could hear one and I drove straight past one because a ranger told me, like when I pulled up to the ranger gate, she's like, you drove straight past one. And I was such a rush to get to where I was going so I could go and try and find one because this was the hot spot.
Yeah.
That I just blasted past one. And I was just absolutely devastated. And I could hear it crying, and like they've got such a distinctive cry.
Yeah, wow.
Because I heard it before she told me, and I was like, where is it? I can hear it. Like, and that was really difficult, and I was trying not to be hard on myself, but that was a bit difficult. But a few years later I went back, I guess with this experience in mind, was driving a lot slower and just taking my time to go to each different location where the hot spots are. And I saw 3 over 2 days. I saw 3, and the first one was like walking across in the sunlight and was quite far away. And the second one was one of the most just one of the most powerful experiences I've ever had. Like I sat watching it up on a hill, and they look like rocks, and you kind of think it's a mirage because I'm looking around in these hills and they're so perfectly suited for their environment that when I first looked at it, I was like, that looked like the outline of a puma with its ears. I was like, no, it must have been a rock. And I turned around and I look back up, and it's just way up on the hill. And I have no idea how I spotted it. And then, so I'm taking photos, trying to calm my heart rate because I was super excited. I was like, just trying to get a nice photo. And then he started coming off the rock, stepping down, and then I could he wasn't looking at me, he was looking way over past me because he didn't bat an eyelid at where I was. I don't think he'd remembered I was there because I'd been still for about 10 or 15 minutes, and it was just tracking they're llamas, but they call them guacas. I've forgotten how to pronounce it. And then sat up on the hill just near me. It ran down the hill, so I got photos of it running. Then it was on the hill, and then it crossed the road in front of me about 10 meters away.
Wow.
And I watched him disappear off and continued tracking, and then got out, and I could see in the snow there was like a paw print, and stuck my foot next to it and took a photo.
Wow, that's amazing. So it occurs to me that David Attenborough is amazing given how old he is, but he surely can't live forever. So there's going to be a position available for David Attenborough soon. Is that?
I would suggest so, yes. And I would, I think that's, as someone from the UK, that's like a collective fear of the day that he is no longer with us.
Yes.
And it's a very palpable feeling.
Yeah, I bet.
Because he's been there through every generation there is currently alive.
Would that be a goal of yours, though? Because I could see you doing that.
That always was my goal,
Yeah. Why is it not? Why did you say was?
That always was, that would be... I just haven't really figured out the steps to get there, I guess. And part of...
Well, I feel like you've started.
Yeah, part of coming to Australia was getting my visa to stay here, put me on a very different path. I think the choice to stay here, and it was a difficult one. It took me 2 years of being here and being sponsored, and not sure if I, even when I was sponsored, I wasn't sure if I was doing the right thing. But the longer I was here and the troubles I could see happening in the UK without getting too political, I was like, no, I think this is a safer option, or like I need to have that option.
But you can do that job from anywhere in the world, right?
Yes, but to be sponsored, I was locked in.
Yeah, right. Okay.
And then to get my PR, so that was a 5-year process.
Yeah, okay.
And then I'd quit a month before COVID, booked a flight to India, Sri Lanka, Nepal.
Yeah.
And that was kind of me being free and ready to take everything on. And then 7 days later, I was back in Sydney. Well, probably one of the most difficult things. It's not one of the most difficult things, because there have been other things, but that was really, really, when you've been holding on to doing something for so long, and you are really trapped when you're in that sponsorship and permanent residency path. You can only take 60 days over 2 years that count towards it. So any time off work over the 60 days counts. You have to work longer to get sponsors or to get your permanent residency. So you really have to be careful where you're going, how long you're going for. So I didn't see my family for 18 months or 2 years at a time. So that just changed my path quite a bit, I think.
But you're still very young.
Yes. Yeah.
I know it doesn't feel like it when you get a little bit older, but you've got a long way to go. I mean, how old is David?
I think he's 100.
Yeah, I think he is too.
Or he's 99 or 100. I can't remember.
I'll be like, I interviewed him on my podcast back in 2025.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely one of my long-term goals is whether it's doing workshops or taking people overseas and showing them the things that I've seen. That's definitely something I think about quite a lot.
Yeah. Very good. So, as you know, we are on the Sip and Solve, Peppermint IT Sip and Solve podcast. And at a certain point in each episode, we stop and talk about tea, and then we talk about tech. So we're going to ask you a couple of questions. First of all, what kind of tea do you have today?
I have peppermint tea. I thought it'd be rude not to.
Very good. I have cinnamon.
It's one of my preferred choices. So
excellent.
I've always liked the name of your business.
It is when we looked around the office, because we were IT Lady and that was becoming a charity, and so we needed to rebrand. We literally walked around the office for all the different types of tea, and then Peppermint came up. I was like, that's the one.
Yeah, it definitely has a good ring to it.
Yeah.
Like cinnamon IT is not quite the same.
And there was another company called Cinnamon IT.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, somebody had already thought of somebody somewhere, not in Australia. But yeah, there was a Cinnamon IT already. So Peppermint. It was the next choice, but I'm glad because
it's good.
Yeah. So then I like to do a little piece which I name the biodata piece, which I pinched from the Indian matchmaker lady, because she gets biodata from the people that she needs to match together. And that is all about what technology you use to help you do your job and on a day-to-day basis. So first up is, I already know the answer to this question, but Mac or PC?
Yeah, Mac.
Yep. And
that was a game changer when I finally pulled the pin to do it.
Yeah, right.
Would have been while I was at uni, 2011, I think.
What was the game-changing part?
Just moving to Mac. Like, it was such a better platform and more powerful. And I don't even remember editing on a. I wasn't really like editing a load up until that point. So, but I knew that was what every industry professional used, really.
Yeah. And phone?
Apple. Yeah.
And you don't have a smartwatch, I see.
No, I do have a Garmin.
Yeah.
For hiking. Okay. And that's got a navigation in it, so that's pretty cool and helpful.
Very good. And on an iPad.
Yes.
Which I can see here. And so what applications would you use? What would you use the most on your mobile phone?
I think Instagram and Facebook are definitely up there.
Yeah.
As much as I don't want to use them, but it's kind of, there's no really a way around them unless I start handing over my social media management to someone.
Yep.
Yeah, WhatsApp as well, probably.
Okay. And on your computer?
Definitely Lightroom, which is a photo editing and catalogue.
And that's the app that you use when you take photos of people. You can load them up into that app, and then you can send it to them, and they can pick the ones that they love.
No, that's a third-party platform.
Okay.
So after Lightroom, it would probably be Google Chrome or Safari, and then, well, within those, because I'm using them, it would be my CRM and PicTime, and PicTime is the gallery I use for delivering photos.
Okay. What CRM do you use? Also
has a plug-in to Lightroom.
Oh, okay.
Which is great because I drag and drop my photos when I've edited them.
Yeah.
They go in there, gets uploaded.
Yeah.
And then there's that sort of seamless connectivity, which
nice.
is definitely a time saver. Yeah.
Yes.
I thought you would.
Yes. Love anything time saving. What CRM do you use?
Studio Ninja, and that's a photography specific one.
Yeah.
And there's probably two in the world that are the top two, and that's probably one of them, I think.
Yeah.
And that's also got connectivity to Zero, PicTime, my gallery.
Yeah, great.
Like they've all started building in these plugins integrations, so they're pretty seamless.
Great.
So within my CRM, people can actually access their photos as well. Not that I use that so much, but that's an option, which is pretty cool.
Love that. Very good. Okay, and then social media, what's your favourite?
Favourite's a strong word. Instagram, that's definitely the one I use the most. I use Instagram and I just post automatically to Facebook, so I don't. I use Facebook for community and groups more.
Yeah.
It's quite a few jobs that get posted in photography groups and stuff like that,
okay.
so it's kind of good just to keep on top of those things.
I've
had some pretty big jobs come from just people posting in Facebook groups.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
That's the end of biodata. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. I just like to know nosy about what people use and how it connects. But that sounds great that you have everything all connected nicely together. So what does a normal day look like for you then? Do you have a normal day, or is it just different every single day?
Yeah, different every day. And this is something I'm trying to work on fixing a little bit, because it is probably a little bit disruptive to my schedule. And I think physical health, mental health, everything, it's very disruptive. So I'm trying to figure out ways of improving that. But yeah, usually sometimes I have jobs that start that, I might need to be there at 8 o'clock, or I might need to be there at 7 o'clock. Those days are a little bit different. If I don't have that, then I'm trying to exercise in the morning, which, again, depending on my schedule, I might work 3 days in a row in the mornings, and then I don't really go in the, I tend to go to sauna quite often.
Yep.
So I'll do a bit of exercise in between sauna and ice baths. But that tends to be an evening. Yeah. So I'll do a sauna, do an ice bath, do some exercise to warm up again.
How long have you been doing ice baths for? I can't get my head to do that yet.
Definitely since 2019 or 2020.
Wow. You're an early adopter.
Yeah, I think I listened to Wim Hof and some stuff around Wim Hof quite early on, and listened to his audio book and did some of his breathing, which is quite extreme. And I think I'd actually, because of the areas where I'd been and traveling, I jumped into lakes that are freezing. I've been into gorges that are freezing, and I felt that rush and feeling good. I don't always feel like that after, doing ice baths. It's more about controlling my breath, my mind, relieving aches and pains. I don't necessarily get that big rush and endorphin that I think you get more when you're in nature.
Or jumping out of an airplane.
Yeah, all that.
Okay, so maybe I feel the same about ice baths as jumping out of an airplane. I just know, when I broke my finger, well, I sprained most of my fingers playing sport, but just having to put your finger in ice is just like, it just hurts so much.
That's the thing as well. It's like a muscle. The more you do it, the easier it gets. And if I take 2 weeks off, or it's been 3 weeks, it hurts. Yeah, right. Like I can only do a minute.
Yeah.
Whereas usually I can do 2, sometimes 3 if I'm going regularly.
And do you have an ice bath at home?
I do have like one of those inflatable tubs.
Yeah, okay.
I used to have that on my balcony at my old place.
Yeah.
But they don't really get cold enough.
Mm.
In winter, it's manageable because you can kind of get it below 10 degrees. But in the summer, it's sitting around 12, which isn't really cold enough. And I don't have the balcony space. Like I don't have a big enough balcony to sort of have it.
Mm. Well, I know my kids played a lot of basketball and sport and tournaments, and Brits tournaments, they'd always have a garbage
we had it when
filled
I was a kid.
with water and ice, and after the games they'd just have to stand in the bucket of ice. And, but I'm pretty sure neither of them do that now, just for the fun of it.
Yeah. I think it's just one of those things, just forcing yourself to do difficult things makes everything else in life a bit easier.
Yeah, right.
Like if you subject yourself to stress or put yourself in these situations, then when a stressful situation comes around, it's more difficult. It's more easy. Sorry, it's easier to deal with, and your body's not so rare.
Yeah, right. I mean, I'm pretty laid back, and I just figure when you have a bad day, like yesterday.
That used to be my thing. Like if I'm having a really rough day, or
like you just know that. And I always would say to my kids, like, if you didn't have a bad day, how would you know what a good day was?
Yeah.
Like you have to have a bad day to appreciate that other days are good. And if you just call it out for, like, it's just a bad day.
Today's a rough day,
Like it's just one of those days where everything just didn't work out, and tomorrow it's going to be better.
Yeah.
That's generally my philosophy. I'm not sure that I need to sit in an ice bath to improve on that, but maybe.
Yeah, I think it's just it's like around the days where you're having a bit of an off day, and if you force yourself to do that, things feel a bit easier afterwards. Or if you're feeling a bit tired or like not motivated or a bit of a slump, that can definitely help. It was a lot easier when I had it on my balcony. I could jump in and get cold, towel myself off, and go back to work. Or
can you just get a bag of ice from the servo and chuck it in the bath?
Yeah. You need a few more bags.
I probably won't, but I'll keep it in mind just in case.
Yeah.
I believe that I have seen you win a few awards of late.
Yeah, BX Excellence Awards last year and this year. Yeah. And I'm a finalist. I was a finalist in the small business one. Yeah. So I actually know who won that, and that was Fee Mims, who's in Melbourne. So that was nice that I knew who won.
Yeah. No, competition is.
And she's also part of, the visibility lab that I'm a part of with Jemima Ashley in Melbourne. So that was nice to see her take home the win. Yeah. And then the Waverley Best and Brightest, I'm a finalist in this year as well, and that's coming up soon. Yeah, end of October, I think.
Excellent. So how do you get new business then?
Networking's been a big part of that with BX. There's a few networking groups I'm a part of, so Bio's another one, and they meet monthly. There's that component of networking, and you never know who you're going to meet and who knows who, and being connected, and that's been a great driving force, particularly I think more around the leadership and personal development and business development side of things, because of the exposure and training you get, and these are the business awards that you can apply. And I don't think any of that would have happened if I wasn't a part of the networking group.
Yeah, that's what I love about it.
Yeah, referrals have always been one, quite a big one for me. I'm starting to get some traffic, like just coming through my website, which is great. So things are starting to work a little bit there. Facebook groups, community,
So when people start a business and they need to have some personal branding, but they can't afford it yet, it's a little bit same with IT. They need to do their own IT. It's like when you first start, you have to do everything yourself because you can't afford to pay for anybody else to do it. And then you start kind of outsourcing this and that to everybody else. So at the point where somebody needs some pictures of themselves or something to put on their website and they need to do it themselves because they can't afford you yet, what would be your tips for somebody who needs to do their own portraits for their website? Like, would you say it's absolutely worth just spending a little bit of money to get something professionally done? Or is there some tips that people can use to do it themselves to start with before they get to the point where they can get all of their staff's headshots done and they can do a proper personal branding?
A couple of things within that. Yes, you can do it yourself, and it's becoming a lot easier to do it. AI is getting pretty good at doing this for you, so you can take a photo and you can use various platforms to create these. I don't love that, but not from my point of view, but it's more if someone's not willing to invest in their business in certain things, that's a bit of a red flag for me. If I see some AI or that sort of stuff on someone's website, if I'm comparing 2 or 3 businesses and I see someone has a full branding shoot, they have, or just photos of themselves, and then there's someone that's got the AI stuff where they're in an office and I can tell by the computer and the coffee mug and the view outside, it all looks a bit too polished or looks a bit funky. Those are the red flags for me. But I think as long as you're like, you don't have to go to that step. You can just take a photo and just post, a photo of you. I think using a well-lit window that's not direct on you. You don't want direct sunlight where it's really harsh and you have shadows in your face. So you kind of want a diffused light. If you think of a lampshade around a light, that's kind of what you want. So I think, just doing a photo of yourself in front of a window so you've got nice lighting and doesn't have to be overly polished and this super professional look at me sort of thing. I think there's a good middle ground there.
Authentic.
Yeah, just
feels
because
like you're saying
the AI stuff, it's like it's kind of trying to catch people out, or I don't know.
Yeah,
I have mixed feelings on it. I understand why people are doing it.
Well, I did a personal branding shoot with you recently, and the photos are really good. And I went to something that, in fact, it's happened a couple of times, but I've used one of the photos on my presentation, and then I kind of stand in front of it and I'm like, well, clearly that is a professional photo because I don't think I look exactly like that anymore. I mean, so I feel like it's a very, very well presented version of my everyday self, which is, still real and authentic. But what I loved about, and I've had over the years a number of photo shoots, but I really loved how relaxed you made me and the other girls that were there just feel really feel like you were able to bring out just who we were as people. So how do you do that? What do you think that's just something about you that understands people? Is there,
I think a lot of it's around, I don't know if empathy and compassion are the right words, but it's along those lines of being aware that people aren't going to feel comfortable doing this. I've always had a pretty heightened sense of how people are feeling, and it's one of those things I can't switch off, and it's caused me some problems in the past, or I'm aware if someone's not feeling okay and they're feeling a bit ordinary, and that affects me. So I struggle to enjoy a scenario where if I know someone else isn't, or something's bothering someone, I really struggle to tune out of that. So I think it's from a place of making people feel comfortable and just talking to people, having a chat and explaining to people what you're doing. Because it might take me a couple of minutes to get something, or I might be moving something around, the light's not quite right. So I don't want people to think, it's not them. There's nothing wrong they're doing. It's just I'm trying to get the best out of a scenario. And I think any service provider that educates along the way, Kevin's a really great example from Acupuncture Grove, who I've seen. And he's explaining what he's doing. He's sticking needles in your body. I've had some pretty painful experiences with injuries in the past, and to the point where it doesn't really bother me now. And he's like, oh, that's a pretty big, he's like sticking them in places and getting big twitches, and I'm pretty unfazed by it by now. But he's very I was impressed by how much information he was giving me as it was happening.
So
I think the more you keep people in, not keeping, you don't want to keep people in the dark. It's like just giving them information as you're going.
Yeah. Because it is a bit of a thing where you just like, you feel a bit weird when you're just standing in front of the camera. Yeah. Like I guess there's this whole thing about, tall poppy syndrome or whatever it is, or like when I was growing up, people at school were like, oh, you love yourself. Like if you were, if you did anything that made you stand out, people would just give you a hard time about it. So I think a lot of what we learn as we grow up is to kind of put ourselves in the shadow and not out there. Yeah. And then really what you're telling us to do when we're having a session out there is go, come out. Like we want you to be out here, and you need to be confident and comfortable with that. So that's, I guess, what you're trying to get people to do. And I feel like
and just reminding people, like, the minute the camera's on me, it's like I don't feel any more comfortable.
Right.
Like it's very, I've got better at pretending I'm comfortable, but I still don't feel comfortable. Like it gets easier to do it as you're doing podcasts, the first podcast you do, or the first podcast I did a month or two ago felt very uncomfortable. This feels less uncomfortable. The next one's going to feel a bit less uncomfortable, and
it's getting used to it.
And just knowing you can have fun. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and
it should be. Yeah.
Well, it should be. I mean, generally,
like it's a big it's a big milestone if you're in a position where you're investing in yourself, whether it's family, engagement, whatever it is. It's it's a big moment in your life. So I think that's worth celebrating.
Yeah. Great. What's your favorite thing to shoot? Oh, you told me that already. Animals in your day-to-day other wildlife.
I think the personal branding definitely. Those sessions get the best results where there's a team of people. Have hair and makeup, have behind the scenes. Sometimes you have video. Everyone's interacting. It's like a collective. It's not just you turning up to a shoot. There's Therese was there. Yeah. And you get to bounce off of each other and have a bit of fun with it.
Yeah. I thought that was a great day. We had a really fun day, and there was, definitely having more people there was too, because you're right.
It's very tricky. I've been finding to arrange the logistics of it though. Yeah. To get everybody's timetable to line up.
You need a VA to do that job for you.
I think not more for me to I don't mind organising it.
Yeah, right.
It's more just everyone else is for 3 people scheduled all to align. Is proving quite difficult.
Yes. Yeah. All right. So for people who might be interested in a personal photo shoot or a personal branding shoot, how would they get in contact with you?
My website. Yeah. Instagram.
Excellent. We'll put all the details in there.
Yeah, I have a page on my website that's got lots of info on the personal branding sessions.
So just to finish off with them, if there was a budding young photographer who thought they wanted to do this job, what advice would you give them?
This is one, it took me a long time to make this decision, because I did grow up looking at Facebook groups, people saying, once your hobby becomes your business, you lose your hobby, and be sure around this stuff. And I've definitely felt that. There's lots of memes and videos and people talking about it. It's quite funny that, when you're a hobby, you get to take photos of whatever you want, whenever you want. And then as you turn that into your profession, you then are being told what to take photos of, or you're taking photos of different things, and then you don't get to take the photos for you anymore.
Yeah.
So I think finding that balance is really important. You need to have your outlet still. That's always been traveling for me, and that's why I haven't really gone down that path, monetizing it so much. It's always been for me, and disappearing off on my own for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Community is a massive one. I think I don't know a lot of photographers that are networking. There are some, but there's not as many. Like if you go to networking, there's dozens or hundreds of mortgage brokers or tax agents, or yeah, there's lots of different industries that you see lots of people, but you don't tend to see photographers and videographers. There are separate groups and communities, I guess, where they go to, but I think finding a community where you can support each other and give advice when you have those problems that are going to come. It's inevitable there are problems coming.
Yes.
You need to have people that you can lean on or support,
Yeah, for sure.
I think that would be my biggest one.
Excellent.
And also systems, get those in really early. The CRM, I didn't have it the first year of my business, and it's just a bit of a nightmare tax-wise.
Yeah.
The CRM and having a tax accountant would probably be, you need to, before you can afford them, you just do it.
Yeah. Well, I think that's excellent advice, because it's true.
And I learned that from a photographer, and that was kind of,
Yeah.
I think I probably did it after I heard that, or maybe I'd done it at the same time. I can't remember, but it was definitely like, okay, yeah, this has to happen.
Excellent. Well, that brings us to the end of our podcast chat. Been very lovely having you.
Cheers. It has. Thank you. Look forward to seeing you in the real world more.
Yes. Yeah.